Real Clear Politics national political reporter Caitlin Huey-Burns joins us here on set to talk about this. Hey, Caitlin.
Hi.
What's happening? So listen, how significant is the CBC endorsement for Hillary, and more importantly, does it hurt Bernie Sanders in South Carolina?
This is a significant endorsement for Clinton, and it comes at a very critical time. She's coming off that big loss in New Hampshire, looking to South Carolina as a place of redemption of sorts. As you mentioned, she spent a lot of time there already, has a long history with the American community, and hoping to do well in not only win South Carolina, but win by a large margin. Bernie Sanders, on the other hand, is starting to make inroads with minority communities. He's set this out as a goal. He recognizes that he has a deficit there to make up. And so he has racked up a couple endorsements of his own. Ben Jealous, the former NAACP president, has endorsed him. Ta-Nehisi Coates has recently endorsed him. And he campaigns frequently with Cornel West. So he is trying to make his own inroads there. He has a longer challenge, though.
Endorsements are one thing, though, but if these people are not going to actually go out there and pound the pavement for these candidates, that's a whole other.
That is such an important point, and that's why the CBC PAC endorsement matters, because these people are have a history of campaigning for candidates. They are out there really moving their constituents, and they plan to, at least the Clinton campaign says, be out there campaigning for her and mobilizing people. So that's why this endorsement is really key.
It is also striking. I mean, certainly Ben Jealous is an important endorsement. I know Ta-Nehisi, I think he said that he was going to vote for Bernie Sanders. He's not officially endorsing him, right? But Al Sharpton is such a polarizing figure. He's also in the media. And so I wonder if Senator Sanders meeting with Al Sharpton is as impactful as getting all these congressional leaders to support Hillary.
Right. I think as far as the mobilization of voters comes into play, that's where the lawmakers really come in and can make a difference. Media is one thing, but it really is going into these communities, as you know, playing an active role in churches and that kind of thing, really getting voters out to the polls. It's really critical. And it's not just South Carolina. I mean, Nevada is holding a caucus soon as well, and that's where the Latino community will really come into play. Hillary Clinton has also been working that state really hard for the past several months and, years, quite frankly. And to the point earlier that was played in the clip, Hillary Clinton supporters are saying she's been a Democrat this whole time. She's been, talking to these people this whole time and trying to show that kind of the ground that Sanders has to make up.
With the bruising defeat earlier this week, though, for Clinton, tonight's debate, does she go on the attack?
I think so. I think she really has to establish her message, really. She lost young people by a huge margin in New Hampshire. She knows she has to make up ground there. And she also knows that there's something about her message that's just not resonating as well as Bernie Sanders is. He's talking about specific things that he wants to do, and she's talking about experience and her own goals that she believes are more attainable. And so you'll see more of a difference there. But as they're trying to court South Carolina voters, I expect them to talk a lot about criminal justice reform and gun control. Those are big issues for the Democratic base, but particularly play well in South Carolina and among the African-American community there.
Caitlin, help our viewers understand. There's a lot of labels that have been thrown out there in this campaign. There are some people who say Bernie Sanders is the anti-establishment candidate. But then others say, well, no, this guy's been in Washington for 30 years. How can he be anti-establishment? Then you've got Secretary Clinton trying to sort of pull up her bona fides as far as an outsider, saying that she's always been not a libertarian, but an activist of sorts. And for people who are just sitting out there looking at this, make sense of that.
It's such a great point. The establishment is, like the dirty word in politics on both sides. I mean, you're seeing Donald Trump and even, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio on the Republican side, who are senators, are trying to position themselves as, outsiders in a way. Bernie Sanders, of course, has a longer record, I would say, of being kind of anti-establishment. I mean, he's an independent technically. He caucuses with the Democrats in the Senate, but he's not the one that's has all these friends in Washington and that kind of thing. So he kind of positions himself that way. But since voters on both sides are really looking for some kind of change in politics, that's where that really comes into play.